Hello, scholars. Welcome to the 5th week of virtual read aloud. Say so cool. Today, scholars, is Monday, April 27th, 2020. And as we are reading today, I have a special surprise for you. Say, what is it? All right, are you ready for this? Well, today, scholars, I have a special guest. Say, oh, so cool. Today, Miss Gutierrez is going to be joining us today, and she's going to be helping us with all of the chants, and you can do it with her. Say, come on down, Miss Gutierrez. And here she is.
Hello, scholars. My name is Ms. Gutierrez. I'm sure you guys have seen me around on campus, but today I'm very excited to be part of your class and be able to do some cheers with you guys, so I cannot wait to see how great you guys do them.
Whoa, say so cool. Well, now that we have Miss Gutierrez to help us out with some chant, scholars, I know that we are going to be super engaged in our read aloud today because first of all, I am so impressed at each and every single one of you since you have came so far already and you have been looking at all of the skills that we have been learning. For example, we've been learning about character motivation. Ms. Gutierrez, character motivation, get ready, go.
Character motivation is what the character wants or needs.
Say she's a smart cookie. Yes, and I know that every story has a conflict. Every story has a yes, Ms. Gutierrez, conflict is a problem. Conflict is a problem. Yes, conflict is a problem. And scholars, we're going to use that problem to figure out, or that conflict and motivations to figure out if there is any kind of external conflict. Ms. Gutierrez, external conflict, get ready, go.
External conflict is when two characters want opposite things, but they both can't get what they want.
Say she's a smart cookie. Yes, scholars. Okay, so we know that external conflict, we have to figure out the many motivations that are in the book, but guess what? I know that every strong retell has a problem. It has a. So this is so important, scholars, because when we are trying to summarize and retell the story to someone, scholars, this is really going to help us figure out all of those problems that are in the chapters, and we're able to easily say what happened in our own words. Say, we're ready. We're not going to be retelling today, but we're always going to keep that in our brains. In our Ms. Gutierrez Texas cheer, get ready, go.
Yeehaw!
Well, scholars, I wonder if you are doing the chants with Miss Gutierrez. Say, yeah, we are. All right, so let's get reading. Oops, say not so fast. Scholars, Miss Soto got a little bit tricked. Say, silly Miss Soto. Well, as we are reading today, scholars, we are going to be focused. We are going to be, and see if we can find out those problems to fill out our chart. So we can do that. Oh, I wonder, scholars, if you are filling out the chart with me, if you make your own chart, scholars, and you write it down in a journal and you send me a picture of it, I will give you a shout out. Ooh, scholars, I had one shout out last week. I wonder if I can give a lot more shout outs. Or maybe if you send me a picture, I will put your picture here too. I don't know. I want to see. All right, so let's get to it. Today's chapter is called Hug Tight Glue. Read with me. Once a week on Wednesdays, the twins had bird pie for supper. Mr. Twit called the birds and Mrs. Twit cooked them. Mr. Twit was good at catching birds. On the day before bird pie day, he would put the ladder up against the big dead tree and climb into the branches with a bucket of glue and paintbrush. The glue he used was something called Hug Tight, and it was stickier than any other glue in the world. He would paint it along and tops of all branches and then go away. As the sun went down, birds would fly in from all around the roost from the night in the big dead tree. They didn't know, poor things, that the branches were all smeared with horrible hug tight. The moment they landed on a branch, their feet stuck. And that was that. Oh my goodness, look at this picture right here. Poor birds. Can you describe a way that they are feeling right now? When I say go, I want you to tell me a way that they are feeling in this picture. Get ready. Go. Oh, that is a great word, scholars. I do think that they are feeling that way. And I think that they are possibly feeling a little bit, I don't know, fearful because their legs were stuck on the tree. And I don't know, they could be really scared. I don't want to use the word scared because I want to use college ready words. So my word would be fearful. Let's keep reading. The next morning, which was Bird Pie Day, Mr. Twit would climb up the ladder again and grab all the wretched birds that were stuck to the tree. It didn't matter what kinds they were, song thrushes, blackbirds, sparrows, crows, little jenny wrens, robins, anything. They all went into the pot for Wednesday bird pie supper. Say, oh no. Oh, look at this picture right here, scholars. Oh my goodness, take a good glance. Ooh, what do you see in this picture? Whoa, I have a question for you, scholars. I know that finding motivations is really important in a story. So I want to know, what is Mr. Twit's motivation? What is Mr. Twit's motivation? And what is Mrs. Twit's motivation? Let's try this again. What is Mr. and Mrs. Twit's motivation? I'm going to give you 1 minute or so to first go back into the book, look for your evidence, and see if you can find what their motivation is with a complete answer. I know that a complete answer includes 1, your answer, and 2, your evidence. So let's get to it. Scholars, if you need more time to find your evidence, pause the video right here and resume the video once you have found your evidence. If there is a conflict between those two people, think about it. When you have found your motivation, tell me, are those two characters going to get what they want or they can't get what they want? I know that external conflict is when two characters want opposite things. That means different things, but they both can't get what they want. So can they get what they want? Can they both get what they want? Think about it. Go. All right, checking me. I want to hear your answer, and hopefully your answer matches mine. When I say go, I want you to say it out loud. Get ready? Go. Whoa, great answer, scholars. I do think that. Yes, scholars, I do think that. And scholars, I think, I'm going to see first of all, I'm going to think about my answer. I do think that they do have motivations, but it's not different. I know that Mr. and Mrs. Twit, they both want to catch birds for their bird pie. Ew. So if they both want the same thing, if they both have the same motivation, there is no conflict. When there is a conflict, their motivations have to be different. They have to be, that is what opposite means. It means that they are different. It means that they are. So I want to make sure that I add that in my chart anyway, even if there is no conflict. Got it? Okay, so we know that we have all of the characters here. Oh my goodness, this was about to fall. Say no big deal. Okay, so Mr. Twit and Mrs. Twit is a character here. I know that the birds also came into the book and they are new characters, so I want to write them down. Perfect. Now that we have written the birds, we don't have any more characters, so now I can get to write my motivations. So here we go. We said that Mr. Twit wants to catch birds for the bedtime. We said that Mrs. Twits also wants Mr. So scholars, ask yourself, is there any conflict? We know that there is no conflict between Mr. and Mrs. Twit's motivation because we know that there's no problem. They both want the same thing. So they're disqualified. Say bye-bye. Okay, so do you think, is there a conflict between any other character? Can you think of one? Yes, that's true, scholars. Yes, it is between the birds. The birds. So I'm going to say with the birds. Is there a conflict with the birds with Mrs. Twit? Say ding, ding, ding. You got it. Scholars, yes. Also with the birds. So I'm going to write that down. Scholars, we know that it's always important to find evidence, to find. So I want you to look for your evidence. I want you to look at these two pages. When I say go, you are going to look for the evidence in these two pages. Scholars, you can't give me an answer if you can't support your evidence. So we have to be looking for evidence that tells us that they both want to catch the birds to make the bird pie. Can you find evidence and see if it matches mine? Go. Scholar, this is just a quick refresher. Go ahead and gather all of your evidence very quickly, and then we'll go back to it, and then I will show you mine. If you need to pause again to refresh your memory and see what your evidence is, that is completely fine. Scholars, this is my evidence. If you read very carefully, if you read the two pages very carefully, scholars, you will find that this whole page supports that the Twits, Miss Soto, that the Twits wanted to catch all of those birds, but there was conflict with the birds because they were stuck and they wanted to get out. They wanted to get unstuck from the tree, and I think that it was kind of evil of Mr. Twit. I'm already giving him a character trait. Oh my goodness, I am already thinking of character traits. I hope you are too. I think it was kind of evil of Mr. Twit to put that hug-tight glue so the birds will be stuck. So I hope that your evidence matched mine. Oh, let's keep reading. This chapter is called 4 Sticky Little Boys. On one Tuesday evening, after Mr. Twit had been up the ladder and smeared the tree with Hug-Tight, 4 little boys crept into the garden to look at the monkeys. They didn't care about the thistles and stinging nettles, not when there were monkeys to look at. After a while, they got tired of looking at the monkeys, so they explored further into the garden and found the ladder leaning against the big dead tree. Ooh, scholars, can you make a prediction? What do you think is going to happen? All right, so go ahead and make your prediction. When I say go, I want you to say it loud and proud. Get ready. Ooh, but first, I know that we make predictions based on character traits, so make sure that you're making good guesses based on Mr. Twit's character trait. Go. You're such a smart cookie. Okay, I hope that happens. Let's keep reading. They decided to climb it just for fun. There's nothing wrong with that. The next morning, when Mr. Twit went out to collect the birds, he found 4 Miserable little boys sitting in the tree, stuck as tight as they could be by the seats of their pants to the branches. There were no birds because the presence of the boys had scared them away. Mr. Twits was furious. As there are no birds for my pie tonight, he shouted, then it'll have to be the boys instead. He started to climb the ladder. Boy pie might be better than bird pie. He went on, grinning horribly. More meat and not so many tiny little bones. The boys were terrified. He's going to boil us, cried one of them. He'll stew us alive, wailed the second one. He'll cook us with carrots, cried the third. But the fourth little boy, who had more sense than the others, whispered, listen, I've just had an idea. We are only stuck by the seats of our pants. We're going to pause right here, scholars. I want to know, why can't the boys get out of the tree? Why can't the boys get out of the tree? When I say go, you are going to tell me your answer. Get ready. Go. Say ding ding ding, you got it. Yes, scholars, let's keep reading. Let's keep reading and see what happens. So, quick! Unbutton your pants and slip out of them and fall to the ground. Mr. Twit had reached the top of the ladder and was just about to make a grab for the nearest boys when they all suddenly tumbled out of the tree and ran for home with their naked bottoms winking at the sun. Say, oh my goodness. All right, scholars, we said that there was conflict with the birds, so I have to make sure that I write that down. Come with me and let's see, and let's write all of our thoughts down. We know that there is conflict with the birds, so there is a problem right here. I need to make sure that I write that down on the motivation. We know that the birds do not want to be caught and cooked, so I'm gonna write that down. And I know that there's somebody else that has a different motivation. And we already said that that is Mr. Twits. So I'm going to write it down. So I'm going to say, wait. Is it only with Mr. Twit or is it both of them? Yeah, so it's both of the Twits, Mr. and Mrs. Twits. So I'm going to say with the Twits. Scholars, we know that we just had new characters come into the book or appear on the book, and we know that that is the boy, so I'm going to write that down. So, I'm going to give you some thinking time to write it down on your own chart at home. If you have some paper laying around or a journal, I want you to write this down on your own. So think about, what is Mr. Twit's motivation and what is the boy's motivation? All right, thinking time, here you go. Okay, so when I say go, I want you to tell me what I should write right here under the boy's motivation. Get ready, go. Yes, scholars, say ding ding, you got it. I do think that the boys want to escape and not be eaten by the Twits. So let's write that down. And we know that there is conflict with Mr. Twits. So I'm going to write it right here. And Miss Soto found a little grammar mistake or spelling mistake. Say silly Miss Soto. This is a family name. So this has to be the first letter, has to be capitalized. Say silly, silly. All right, so let's write that down for conflict. Say the boys, there's a conflict with Mr. Twit. back to the top. I know that there's conflict with the boys, so I'm going to say with the birds. Now, you know that we have to find evidence. We cannot just give answers without supporting our evidence, scholars. Say, no way. You have to show me where you found that answer. So look for your evidence, and I hope your evidence matches mine. Remember, scholars, you can pause the video if you need more time to find your evidence. Get ready, go. All right, scholars, now that we are done with this chapter, we have to think about who achieved their motivation. Was it the boys? Did they get what they want? Or was it Mr. Twit? Did he get what he wanted? Who was it, the boys or Mr. Twit? I want you to tell me out loud. Get ready, go. Yes, it was the boys, scholars. It was the boys, because they got to run away and not be eaten by Mr. Twit. And Mr. Twit was actually, he did not achieve his motivation because he wanted to eat the boys. See, what a silly idea. Well, scholars, thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you, Ms. Gutierrez, for also joining us today. Ms. Gutierrez, can you do the choo-choo train cheer? Get ready, go.
Chugga, 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 choo-choo.
Wow, she is amazing. All right, scholars, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.